Welcome to this beautiful day in sunny Florida. My name is Graham Williamson. I'm an intuitive and evidential medium and psychic. My show is Dare to Dream, and it's on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network and radio, TV, and podcasts. It's the number one internet singles talk network, Going Bold Wednesday. My producer, Cece, is in the background and she does all the connection and everything. And the show today, what a psychic means for you. We've just been talking before we came on air about it. And in a way, it gets me in the mood for opening up to listen to what Spirit want me to talk about. Now, what is a psychic? The human race. Every single one of us are psychics. This is my interpretation, and it's not from a book, it's what I've learned for myself. But I found out over the years, I've got to backtrack. My grandmother was a medium. My mother was a rescue medium. That means somebody who helps somebody who's died traumatically, not aware, that the past, they didn't have time to realize, oops, I'm no longer living. And they're trapped in a little world. And a rescue medium looks for their light and spirit and astral plane, whatever you want to call it, and helps them find the light of God and peace. And I had 5 of us, 3 older sisters and a younger brother. And my mother, when she had children, decided, I'm not going to be a medium anymore. I don't want to work doing the mediumship. She was a nurse for the mentally and physically challenged. My stepfather was the same. And when they had a family, they decided no more mediumship. But I was curious. We all were. And we found out we could do levitation, tea leaves, palmistry, crystal board, you name it, we did it. Pendulum, Ouija boards. And before you say anything about Ouija board, it's the intention of the user and the use of a board that defines positive or negative energies. Think about it. Which in part is what psychic work is about. When you walk into a room for the first time or you meet a person for the first time and you introduce and say, hello, this is John Smith or Mrs. Smith, and you stick your hand out and shake, you know straight away, somehow, I feel comfortable, or I don't. Well, I learned over the years, the more I listened to that gut reaction when I met somebody, had a significant effect on the outcome of the meeting or the situation. One of the best guides I ever had was a little dog we used to have as kids called Jenny. She was a border collie, sheepdog. And one day we lived in a hospital ground for the mentally and physically challenged. Now, this hospital was old and it had some dangerous people in there due to the mental health. One day there was a knock on the door and us kids were playing in the house. Our uncle who lived with us was in the back and the door's always locked at the front. And there's a knock on the door and our dog, Jenny, decided, no, don't allow this person, growling, barking, and blocked us getting to the door. Now, 3 kids. One of the sisters stayed with my grandparents, but 2 of my sisters and my brother were stopped by the dog getting to the door. The dog was snarling at the door and whimpering, looking at us, but she wouldn't let us get near the door. We thought, what the heck? Jen, come on, Jenny, move. No, she wasn't having it. This went on for a while, and in the end, the woman kept on knocking on the door. Come on, your mum sent us, and open the door, let us in. Eventually, the lady left. 10 minutes later, mum and dad come flying in, grabbed us. Oh, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. Oh, thank you for that. We found out later, one of the residents of the hospital had escaped, a murderer, or murderess, I should say. And she had a habit of going down places, just knocking on the door, going in and killing people. Yeah. The dog knew. Cats do, but dogs are more easy to understand. And I've had people knock on my door here in America, and the dogs are bark, bark, no problem. Only one time the dogs growled. I didn't let this person who was a police officer wanted to come into my home to ask questions about some incident in the neighborhood. I wouldn't let him in the house. He said, well, you can put the dog in the back. I said, no. We'll sit out on the front. You sit there, I'll sit here. Good distance between us. Kept the dog in here. And then he asked me why, and I told him the story about Jenny. He says, well, I'm sorry if I've got that. I said, well, the dog picked something up on you, and sorry, I trust the dog more than I trust anybody. You see, animals pick up energy. They understand energy far simpler than we do. We have to think things through. We have to analyze. But when you boil it down, when you feel comfortable in a situation, you relax. But when you don't feel comfortable, do you force yourself to stay in that environment, in that energy? I wouldn't, which has got me into so much trouble over my life because people think I'm being rude. Well, no, I'm out of here. But I've had situations when we were kids watching cartoons in a movie house local in central England in Castle Donington. We used to go and watch cartoons on a weekend. I saw my grandfather, but that was a mediumship thing. But I didn't feel comfortable going that day. And I was saying to everybody, there's something wrong, I don't know what it is. I don't feel comfortable, but let's all go together. And we all went. I had no saying it. The older sisters and my younger brother decided, we always do it, let's go. So we went. And then I saw my grandfather's face on the screen saying, get out, get out, get out. And I told everybody else, no hesitation. We all got up, left. We never went back. 2 weeks later, the place burnt down on the day that we normally go. We never went back because something didn't feel right to me. And at the time, I was too young to understand that I needed to listen to that funny feeling in my guts. It didn't feel right. Something was going at the back of my head, my hair. Whatever sensation I got, most of you will have some form of recognition signal. And the more antagonistic the situation is, the more uncomfortable you get. The more gentle and in keeping with you, the more at peace you feel. Human emotion is more than just what's up here. It's in the heart, it's in the gut. Your energy coming from your body, your spirit that's in your body radiates out through your body. And other people can pick it up. That's why you look at some people, you think, hey, this person feels great. All of a sudden, goodbye, I'm out of it. Every single one of us can do this, but we have a choice. It's an important one. Every moment of our life, we have a choice. We choose whether to listen to our guts, our instinct, our emotions, whatever label you want to give it, or not. The more, I can tell you now, the more you listen to it, the more sensitive you become, and you can have a happier life because you avoid the negative. It doesn't mean that you're living in fairyland and woohoo, everything's wonderful. No. You've got to keep your feet grounded. You've got to be realistic. A psychic doesn't talk to spirit. That's a medium's work. There are some mediums who are also, well, there's some psychics that are also mediums. But when you go to a fairground and say, see a psychic reader, tarot reader, whatever, they're not always mediums. And if you want to talk to spirit of a loved one who's passed, you need a medium, not a psychic. But the word psychic captures the word medium in today's terminology, which is sad It's like the word love. Love means so many things, positive and negative, and it's difficult to pin an emotion to one word, a single emotion to one word. But love was used. She uses so many words. Oh, love her, that means no, thank you. Oh, God, blimey. All the terminology you want to use, it's twisted a little bit over time. People use the wrong words. I'm from England. I lived there for 47 years, came over here. I've been here 21. So, yeah, I'm 68. But in the last 21 years, my ability has opened up beyond anything I could ever dream. My life is beyond happy. It's got its real moments and the balance. I have the ups and downs like everybody else. I'm not a saint. I'm not a nasty person. I have a temper sometimes. But I'm just as quick to laugh and joke all the time. People used to call, well, my wife, she's got a lovely phrase for me. She calls me the comedic medium. It's always like to make people laugh inside. Now, how can I do that? How can a medium who's a psychic as well, like everybody else, how can a psychic make me laugh? When you meet somebody, like I was talking to Cece before the start of the show, well, I always like to talk for 5-10 minutes before a show because it gets the energies balanced. And within a minute, we're laughing and joking. We've not seen each other online for a couple of weeks. But because we're working together, I want to get this energy higher. I want to lift it up. I want to make it positive. So I engage in a conversation which has jokes, gesture. I'm no comedian as such, but I can lift the energy by making life fun. I worked for Publix for 17 years, and part of that, every 5 years you get a dinner presentation as an award for being with the company for so long. And I went, it's the 6th year that I actually went for this meal with a group of people who were again 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever 5 it was, we all sat together at the table, one stuff. And we were laughing and joking and everything. And the CEO of the company at the time pipes up, there's too much noise coming from that table. Everybody went quiet. I just turned over and went, yeah, you're just jealous you're not on our table. He came over to join us and sat with us there and then till the end of the presentation. A couple of months later, I was getting people coming to my store and one of them was criticizing something and I just went, well, no, that's wrong. And I sorted the dilemma out and the top brass that came in turned around and looked at me and said, what's your name again? I said, Graham. Oh, you're that Graham. The CEO knew me as that Graham. It became synonymous. Any bigwig come into my store, oh, you're that Graham. And so what's that mean? Oh, you don't play the game. You play life. You enjoy life. You say it as it is. There's no BS about you. We know where we stand. You're unorthodox, you're different, but you only mean the best. You make people laugh. I said, so is that right or wrong for the company? Or you're fine. You're not breaking any rules. You're different, but you're not breaking the rules. How can I do that? Because my psychic ability is so in tune with my surroundings. I know when to open my mouth. I know when to speak to somebody. But what can you do about it? What a psychic means for you is, what does it mean for you, to you, and, and from you? A medium is one thing. That's another story. The psychic today is so important that you understand that every single person, every living creature has this ability, this psychic ability. You know, even watching mice or rats, they know when to come out. They know somebody's watching them before they see anything. Birds, as soon as they see you, or you make a noise, a bird's making a noise, warning everybody else, watch out, somebody about. But crows, believe it or not, you start feeding crows or not hurting them, not shouting at them, and always leave them a little bit of something, they will call to their friends eventually, and all the crows will come round because they know you're not going to harm them. But you throw a stick or shoot them or make a noise that scare them, they warn each other, don't go near that person. It's been proven. Because psychic is the energy field emanating from every living thing and inanimate objects as well. That's going into another realm. But I'll just talk about the living energy at the moment. Because all this stuff here, this is just a little figure. I'm going to turn it round. The opinions expressed by the husband of this house are not necessarily those of the management. Cute, isn't it? But it was the same mum and dad used to say to each other, and we ended up making it as a gift to them with that caption on it. And it's perfect. Because the management in this case is the energy that emanates from everything. That energy that makes you feel comfortable. We get people knocking on the doors. People say, oh, can we come in? Your house has got so much beautiful energy. And they're not talking about the music or anything like that. Very rare we have music playing. It's just that it's peaceful. And we've got animals around. We've got snakes around, turkeys, bears, whatever, possums, raccoons. They're the locals, the raccoons. They don't damage our property. They just walk us through it. Mummy and the babies. Been coming through for years. They know they're not going to be harmed because they know our energy is good for them. They have the limits, they have the boundaries, because certain wildlife you've got to be careful. You can't be stupid with animals. But you see, every psychic has a choice. And you watching this today, and you listen to how I'm speaking, and you can see I'm not rehearsing a single sentence at all. It comes straight out of my mouth. Because I have learnt to trust my instincts far more than the average person. I'm no better than anybody else. It's just I do things differently. I've taught myself to be what I am today. I had a choice many years ago to do this or not. That's part of it. I had 14 years in the Royal Navy. I couldn't do a lot, but my instincts save lives, stop drug smugglers in Northern Ireland, North Sea, avoid danger, and it got known. How? Because I say, no, I'm not going in the boss, there's something wrong in there. And the boss is normally the captain or the officer in charge, started to listen. And I got followed and watched. That's another story. Because I was doing things differently to everybody else. I did not want to die in the armed forces. So I learned to swim and hold my breath. It made my body very fit. I learned to be able to hold my breath for over 5 minutes because I didn't want to drown, because I was scared of drowning. What's that got to do with being psychic? Well, the more in tune I got with my body, the healthier I got my body, the more poignant and more easily recognizable signals were made to my conscious self. I learnt to listen, feel, hear, see, taste, smell, everything. All my senses were heightened because I was looking after myself. You've got to be looking after yourself because you're the only one that can do anything good for yourself. Other people can offer advice and even give you stuff, but it's your choice as to whether you're going to do it. I'm not as fit as I used to be, but I'm fitter than most at 68. I'm not bragging, I'm just stating a fact. Because I want to be able to live and do as much as I possibly can and travel with my wife. We've been married for 21 years and we're having a blast. But life isn't easy. We can't all do what we want to do when we want to do it. We've got to live the life that's in front of us and make the choices. And being a psychic, it's easier to interpret things better. Now, don't forget, you're on my show, Dare to Dream. I'm Graham Williamson, intuitive, evidential, medium, and psychic. I do my show every 2 weeks. And I haven't got my calendar today, so I'll have to check that in a minute. And I want you to come or listen and ask questions, leave a comment, share a like, because my show is not about me, it's about you. I want you to find out your abilities. And the other ways you can contact me is through the medium77@gmail.com. And my website is mediumgrahamwilliamson.online. Leave a text message or an email, or call me on 352-409-1060 and leave a voice message, please, because if you don't leave a voice message, I'm not going to answer you. And we all know all about these scam calls. But my show is about you and communication. My show is about going solo, being an individual, helping make people's lives better. If you want to. You know, yeah, that's a good one. Do you have a question? If you're watching, please put a comment and ask a question about the topic today, about psychic. I will do my best to answer it. One of the shows, I'm actually going to set it up. I've just been thinking about it and doing readings just for a demonstration. But I'm not doing personal stuff. I'm just demonstrating how a medium can work. And I do it my way, not the same as everybody else. Each medium is different. Each psychic is different. There's no right way or wrong way. What makes it work for you? The more antagonistic somebody is, the more defined it says, this is rubbish, there's no way, I don't want to listen to you. And then you just say one word or one sentence in a situation and they turn and they go, how did you know that? How did you do that? They're the easy ones. It's the people that say, I understand it, I know it all. I haven't got a clue. I've had evidential stuff coming through, but being a psychic, I know when to open my mouth and when to shut it. And those people who know me know it's very difficult for Graham Williamson to keep his mouth shut. I'm subtle. But I have fun doing this. And if you look at the top, the picture there with Dare to Dream, just behind the word solo going bold. My mother's last gift to me, hand-sewn sampler. She designed it and hand-sewed it. And it was about her last gift to me, other than the most important one. I'll tell you in a second about that. It's Dare to Dream. But she meant the words in this context. Dare you be you? Or do you just want to be the same as everybody else? Now, I'm your host, Dare to Dream of Graham Williamson, intuitive, evidential, medium, and psychic. And the topic is what a psychic means for you. Now, that other gift my mother gave me, I was just on about, was life. But also, my father gave me life. Both of them created me as a physical, but my spirit comes from the divine. I chose this body to come into to experience what I've been going through. I've become enlightened for my purpose of life. Because of my psychic abilities, it's become easier to recognize it. and that is to help teach other people terminology, psychic and mediumship. What it's about to be intuitive. All these things are relevant. They make me what I am today, all those. But the topic is about what it means to you, psychic. The Bible has it. A couple of the other religious books have it as well. And it's not a right thing to use, seeing a medium or soothsayer and all this sort. You know why the terminology, this is my opinion. It's because men wrote those books and said God guided them. Spirit guided them. The Spirit of God guided them. Well, I've written poetry most of my life, spontaneous poetry. I write as I feel there and then. I see something, I respond to it. When I go to Casadega Spiritualist Camp, I go into the Andrew Jackson Davis building and I'll be sitting there writing poetry, listening to the voices of mediums and psychics. It's spontaneous. I don't wait to write. The Bible, for example, was written hundreds of years after the fact. And I'm sorry, the Bible is a very good guide. And I love it. I always carry the Bible with me. But it's a guide to me because of what's in it helps me understand who I am. And it makes me feel good to read it and understand it. That's why I became a minister as well with Universal Life Ministry. Because people listen to you a little bit better if you have the word reverend or minister or father or whatever, priest, whatever terminology you feel comfortable with. But I'm a minister with Universal Life Ministry because I can't talk to people in a counseling way without the correct labels and certification. But as a minister, I can talk in confidence and I will never break my word. You see, the word that you use or the words you use, you are responsible for. Doesn't matter what anybody said to you to say. It could be life or death. But you have a choice. Some choices are seemingly impossible to keep or seemingly impossible not to keep. It's what it feels right to you, the psychic side of you. Your energy knows whether it's good or bad. And if it's bad, what the heck are you doing? You've got to honor yourself. It's difficult. It's difficult to stand up and say, I'm not the same as everybody else. But in the English terminology, one word brings out to me a lot. You are an individual, a person. We are all in one of the biggest races that hasn't finished yet. That's the human race. I'm not here to win it. I'm here to get to the end of it. And my speed, not yours, nobody else's. My time is limited, and I'm going to do the best I can on this earth to enjoy it and pass on that enjoyment to other people. My psychic ability helps me do that. I can walk out and bump into somebody and I can talk to them as I've known them for years within a couple of minutes or not. I'm an easy to get along with sort of person because people see me as I am. There's no bluster, there's no BS about it. And if they don't like it, I shut up and walk away. But people say, why do you do it? I said, why not? I like to learn about life. My ability, my psychic ability increases the more I communicate with people and animals. Have you watched birds flying out, hummingbirds in Florida? My wife and I sit out there sometimes and we watch these birds and they're flying right in front of us, go up to the feet and disappear again. They're not afraid of us. They're just flying around us to get to the food. And the rabbits in the garden, the wild, they know we're not going to chase them. They just sit there and eat the grass and go off at their time. Even when the dogs can only go out the back. They don't go out the front. But they know the back is the dogs, so they don't go in that area. They go in the area where the dogs aren't allowed. They feel safe there. You see, that psychic energy is always working. Always. How do you feel listening to me? If you feel comfortable, you'll still be here. If you don't feel comfortable, you're either going to be antagonistic and even negative, or just leave. It doesn't matter to me. It only matters to you how you feel from it. You can see, I have to say, I'm not worried either way. Because if I was worried, then I'd be doing something wrong. For me, you have to be answerable to yourself. And we're going to take a break shortly. And we'll be back in a few moments. I think it's about time, Cece. But please come back and we'll finish the next 15 minutes. And we'll talk a bit more. Welcome back, everybody. I've got to say, I'm so proud to be a part of this group of WGSN-DB Going Cellular Network and Radio. It's now on so many different types of media way of communicating. There's so many different options and choices. Please look up goingcellularmedia.com, Going Bold Wednesday. There's a topic there for you. I tell you, the people, the other hosts, including Cece, all have their own little facet of this energy. And that's why being a medium, as well as a psychic, I feel so comfortable with this family I've got online. And I'm your host, Graham Williamson of Dare to Dream. I'm an intuitive and evidential medium and psychic. I'm swallowing a lot because Spirit wants me to say stuff. But because the show is about psychic work, I'm saying, hang on. Let's just talk about the psychic, not spirit. You see, I've learned to talk like this all my life. As I say, the last 21 years, it's been fantastic. It's so easy to be connected with spirit because I've recognized the energy of being a psychic. That energy is tangible. A lot of you who are listening will know what I mean by that gut feeling. You're not always right, But the more times you try by opening your mouth, giving word, the more accurate you become. I fail sometimes. I just off, but it always comes round, and then I find out I was right in some form. My interpretation may have been slightly off. You see, psychic is a feeling, mostly. That energy of I don't know. Best way to describe it is like a magnetic energy. You either feel comfortable with it and it pulls you in, or you don't and it pushes you away. Like energies attract each other. I know magnets, you've got to be opposite to draw things in. The same poles push or repel. Push or jump. I get the words out. You see, I'm not infallible. I'm human. I'm a spirit having a human experience. And my experience, I never thought I'd live past 30, the lifestyle I had before. But because of my gifts, I got out of the negative. It wasn't easy. I've had 2 failed marriages. I've got kids from my first marriage. I love them to pieces. I really do. But they weren't in my life at the time I should have been there because of my career and my situation. I'm not laying blame on anybody. It's just life. I've lived through it. But I'm also a recovered alcoholic. I've chosen not to touch a single drop of any alcohol or artificial flavored, colored, whatever, man-made chemicals, foods. I've reduced it a lot. And since I've been doing that for the last 21 years, my body's got healthier. I still have the health issues because of all the rubbish I put into it before for 47 years. I'm responsible for that. The food I eat made me what I am. So the food I eat now can help my body be better. And my attitude is better. I bump into people and they say, "Oh, why do you do that? That's the devil's stuff and all that sort of stuff." Is it? Oh, who told you that? Oh, okay. So making you happy is wrong because I'm a psychic. Making you feel at ease is wrong because I help you relax. So if that's negative, I'd like to see what positive is. It would blow me out of the water. You know, it's how you interpret things. It's how your guts tell you how you feel. You've got to listen to yourself first. It's the easiest thing to do, but it's the hardest thing to face your inner truth. Being a psychic is the energy of the physical. You choose to listen to that energy. You choose to let it in and be consciously aware of. I've just had both of my dogs looking at me as though to say, "You tell them that." They both fell asleep here. One's just got up, gone for a drink. You see, animals feel comfortable with me. Why? Because I'm not a threat to them. I have rules with them. I'm not negative with them. When I say no, I don't have to smack them when they do something wrong. I just say, "Why did you do that?" And they come up and lick my hand and walk off. One of the dogs decided to try and steal something from the big dog. The big dog chastised him. A lot of snarling, snapping, and all the rest of it. Not a sign or wound anywhere. I've seen it before. I understand what the dog was doing. If she meant to hurt the smaller dog, there'd have been blood all over the place. There wasn't a single drop. It sounded worse. So what's that going to do with psychic? I knew straight away that what the dog was doing. I knew that no harm would come to the smaller dog. If there was any chance of that, they would have been together. Because I listened to myself. my environment. It's that simple. You see, all this stuff behind me is from my past. Every bit is from my past behind me. That's where my past should be. Being a psychic, I've learned to look at my past, but not live in my past. Where are you? Are you locked in? Oh, well, I used to do this and I used to do that, and I can't break out of it. Always a wall there that's stopping me doing this. Why imagine a wall? People say, what do you feel? I feel anything, smell anything, taste something, hear something. There's no barrier in me. I have one condition that I set out every morning and every night. First one in the morning is to do my highest and best for me and others. That's my intention. At night time, I say thank you. I'll learn in my sleep what I did right and what I did wrong. And I'll do better tomorrow. Each day I do better. I'm not perfect. Yeah, I make mistakes. That's part of being a human. The psychic part of you can help your life become easier. But when you say something or do something, action speaks louder than words. Is a truism. But your intent to start with has to be true. And to do that, you've got to listen to yourself, your psychic self. What makes you feel comfortable? What stops you opening your mouth and being truthful is you. Your conscious self fighting the subconscious self. I hope what you've heard today will help you realize every one of us are different, yet we're all the same. My skin, my tone, my language, my demeanor, my experience are all me. You're all you. You came in today to listen to this or later on. This show is Dare to Dream. I'm your host, Graham Williamson. I'm an intuitive, evidential, and medium and psychic. If you want to contact me, you can contact me by email. That's a medium77, or one word, at gmail.com. Or you can go to my website, mediumgrahamwilliamson.online. Leave me a text on that message. If you want to read them, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Or you can call me on 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message and your name. Because if you don't, I won't reply. Because we all get those scam calls. My next show should be August the 3rd. Yep. Thank you, Sushi. I checked it up at 5 p.m. EST. I hope that you'll come back, ask questions. I may be able to do a little reading for you just to demonstrate. I don't know what the topic is at the top of my head for next week. I'll publish it. But I want to thank you for listening. Please comment, like, and share. And go into goingsolomedia.com, which is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network and Radio, TV and broad podcasts. We're the #1 singles talk network. And we're hitting 500,000, I believe it is now. It's absolutely amazing. I'm loving it. So please share this link. Please share by going to goingsolomedia.com. And I will see you on the 3rd of August. I want to thank you and have a wonderful day. And I'm actually on time, CC. Have a good night.